Hi guys, and welcome back to the Yoga Doc. I'm Leah Deutsch, founder of the Yoga Doc, and thanks for joining me on this sunset practice. Hopefully the light will last. We're going to work through some sun salutations and some variations, so it's a bit more of an energetic flow practice. So I definitely recommend do one of the ease practices to warm up, or your own warm up before you get into this. So let's get started. So coming down in the normal way, down to your wide leg child's pose, so knees wide apart and toes touch. Just ease your bum back towards your heels and start to walk your chest back to the floor. Resting your head on the mat, or stacking your fists, or using a block, whatever you use, just come to sink down. Breathe deeply here, in through the nose and out through the mouth, settling into your practice. And if this is the first time you've moved today, just taking a moment to allow the mind to come into the space. Allow yourself to leave behind any niggling worries or thoughts of the day, or anything that's still left to come. If this is the very first part of your day, and just really focusing in towards the body, the breath, the mind, and your baby. And knowing that by doing this, you're really benefiting your baby, the growth of your baby and its development, and yourself. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, allowing the side ribs to expand and open, and then sighing it all out through the mouth. Shifting the weight forward into the knees, coming into a tabletop position. And we're going to press down into the forearms, down into the wrists, and down into the thumb bases, index and middle fingers pointing towards the front of the mat. We're going to come into some gentle flows to begin with, so drawing the hips once again back towards the heels, shifting the weight forward into a modified plank, coming down into your baby push-up, and then shifting back up, drawing your baby in towards your spine, shifting the weight once again into your hips. Coming into that again, shifting the weight forward over your wrist, hugging the elbows towards the chest, and then sinking your body down with control in your breath. Inhaling, coming back up, shifting your weight back towards your heels into your child's pose. Walking your hands back towards the back of the mat, pointing your fingertips towards your toes and lifting your chest and your hips up. Coming back now, walking the body forward into your modified half plank, shifting the weight down, coming into your baby push-up. We're working through the arms today, so getting a good workout, shifting the bum back towards the heels. Walking the hands back towards the back of the mat and coming back into your lifted back bend here, supporting yourself, moving with the breath. Shifting the weight forward. Coming now into your tabletop and tucking the toes under, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So very slowly start to shift the hips back, bending the knees strongly here before you come into your downward facing dog, if this is the first one of the day. So wiggling the hips from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. So I often find if you bring your feet backwards so that the feet are 2.5 fists apart, and then bend your knees strongly and lift your hips up, so that gives you that lift and stretch through the front of the body, and then start to walk your heels down one at a time. You often find yourself in a bit of a more secure position, so you're not dumping and lifting the weight forward into the wrists. So just settling here now into your downward facing dog, gazes back towards your baby, pushing into the hands and rotating the forearms forward and open. Now kicking your right leg up, trying to be cautious about leaving your toes to point towards the ground so that your hips are level and that you're not lifting higher and overly rotating that leg by doing this. That was how not to do it. Then shifting your knee forward to the front of the mat, and then finding its way to the space between the hands. So that may be that you need to help it there. Dropping the left knee towards the floor and inhaling, sweeping the arms up, coming into your Anjali-asana, your low lunge here. Exhaling, drawing the upper body up a little bit here.
And then sinking down a bit more, engaging the pelvic floor. Sweeping the left arm back, holding on to the inside edge of the left thigh and opening up through the chest, drawing the right arm back. Inhaling, coming back up into your low lunge. Exhaling, drawing the right arm back now. So this might feel slightly awkward, and maybe if this feels uncomfortable, if you're more heavily pregnant, then just stay in your low lunge. If this is feeling okay for you, then just gazing back towards that back toe, lifting that top arm, opening up through the chest. Exhaling, bringing the hands down towards the floor. Coming into some little tilts here, so moving through the hamstrings, flexing through the front foot. Exhaling, sinking down. Inhaling, drawing the hips towards the heels and lifting through that front foot, flexing through and stretching the hamstring. So just starting to wake up the back of the legs here. Again, small movements, not overstretching in any way here. And then exhaling, coming down. Placing both hands to the floor, tucking the toe, and then sliding that right leg back towards the back of the mat. Shifting the weight back once again to your child's pose. Shifting the weight forward once again, coming into your baby push-up. Walking the hands to the back of the mat. Fingertips point towards the toes and lifting the hips up. Exhaling, dropping the bum down towards the heels. Walking yourself forward to the front of the mat and placing the hands on the floor, and tucking under the toes and pushing up into your downward facing dog. Once again, settle into your downward facing dog and just take a breath here, finding that stillness and strength. Inhaling, left leg kicks up towards the sky, toes point towards the floor. Exhaling, left knee draws towards the front of the mat and finding its way down to your low lunge on the opposite side. Take a big inhale, sweeping the arms up, opening up through the chest. Take an inhale, lift up a little bit more here, and then exhaling, sinking down. So engaging the pelvic floor, and you're just tucking under the tailbone slightly here. Inhaling, opening. And then exhaling, right arm draws back to the right inside thigh, looking back towards that right heel in a lovely open twist here. Little gentle back bend and twist. Take an inhale, reach back a little bit more. And then exhaling, right arm sweeps up. And then coming onto the opposite side, once again, if this is feeling uncomfortable for you, stay in that low lunge. Otherwise, grasping hold of the outside edge of that right thigh if you're able to, and reaching the right arm up, back, coming into a little arc here, stretching and opening the right side of the body. Exhaling, sweeping the left arm up towards the right arm, opening up through the chest, mini back bend. Exhaling, placing the hands onto the mat. Stretching back through that left hamstring now as you lift the left heel. Exhaling, left foot flattens down towards the floor. Inhaling, sliding back, bum in the direction of the heel. Exhaling, sinking forward. Opening up through the chest as you come forward. Taking two more. Inhaling, hugging your baby in towards your spine. Exhaling, lifting through the chest. One more. And exhaling, coming down. Placing your hands into the mat, sliding that left knee back to meet the right knee. Taking a moment in your child's pose, nice and wide with the knees and softening the body down towards the floor. Really nice. Take a breath. Inhaling, shifting the weight forward, bring the knees together parallel once again, and then shifting, coming down into your baby push-up. If this is becoming too much for you, just come as far as you can here. Just bend the elbows slightly here, just to give a little bit of strength through those arms, helping you to strengthen the upper body for when your baby comes, ready to carry your baby and all the paraphernalia that goes with it. Lifting up through the hips, exhaling, bum towards heels. Walking the body forward towards the front of your mat and pushing down into your hands, into your wrists. Tucking the tailbone under and coming up into your downward facing dog. Walking the hands back towards the back of the mat now. Bending the knees, coming into your ragdoll, shaking the head yes and no, and softening the body forward towards your mat. Now maybe bring your feet a little bit wider apart here just to accommodate your baby. Allow the neck to be nice and free. And then releasing the arms, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. And taking a big inhale as you reach the top. Shoulders draw up and then down the spine, softening and allowing space between the ears and the shoulders. Palms face forward. Bring the feet a little bit closer together again if you've drawn them apart in your ragdoll, so that they're parallel hip width. Take a big inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Look up towards the thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees, softening the body down towards the floor once again. Walking the hands to the front of the mat. And dropping the knees, coming into your baby push-up. Inhaling, coming back up. And then starting to walk the hands back towards the back of the mat. Fingertips point towards the feet and lift the hips up, opening up through the chest. Exhaling, sinking bum back towards the heels. Walk the body forward once again, pressing into the hands. Tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Remembering you can always come into your child's pose whenever you need to. If you're feeling particularly low in energy or just tired today, and just taking what you need from your practice and not forcing or pushing yourself in any way. Hugging your baby towards your spine, and then take an inhale, lift that right leg up towards the sky once again, toes point down towards the floor. Knee draws towards the front of the mat and walk it forward to the space between the two hands. Coming up now into your high lunge, so heel toeing the right foot to the side of the mat a little bit just to accommodate your hips here, making sure you've got a nice, secure, stable base for your balance. Now pushing into the big toe, little toe and heel of the front foot, engaging the pelvic floor after you've inhaled. And then as you exhale, engage the pelvic floor and slowly come up to your high lunge, maybe pushing into that front knee if you need to, front thigh, and come into your high lunge. Bring your hands to your hips to begin with. Now tuck your tailbone under, like see if you can bend that back knee slightly and draw your hips forward. Now sink down a little bit more and straighten that back leg. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhaling, cactusing the arms down and draw the shoulders together, opening the arms as if you're carrying a heavy load. Inhaling, sweeping up. Exhaling, sinking down. Inhaling, lifting up. Now exhaling, bringing the left arm back, right arm forward, coming into a little gentle open twist here. And then placing that back foot in onto the floor as if you were coming into a warrior two, but your palms are facing up. So shift that left hip back towards the back foot. And then heel toe the right foot towards the center point of that left back foot. Shift the weight forward and coming into your reverse warrior. Inhaling, looking up to the hand, sink down a little bit more. And then exhaling, coming into side angle pose here, resting the right elbow onto the right knee, sweeping the left arm, opening up through the chest and looking towards that top arm. So see if you can rotate that left hip towards the ceiling a little bit more, the left chest towards the ceiling, just opening the body. And then exhaling, bringing the left hand towards the hip. Heel toeing that back foot in slightly, and then just bringing that right arm inside the right leg. So coming into triangle trikonasana pose, the left arm sweeps up. So this isn't about how far you can get the right arm towards the floor. It's about lengthening through the body towards the front of the mat, and then rotating your chest towards the ceiling. So perhaps have a block here on the floor or a book, something to help support your bottom arm if you're feeling like you're collapsing here. Looking down to the big toe of the front foot, bending softly that front knee as you come all the way back up. And then sinking down to your warrior two. Shifting that back hip back, looking towards the front foot. Take a breath here. And then slowly bringing that right hand to the floor, windmilling that left arm over. Left knee drops towards the mat. Heel toe that right foot to the side for a moment, and then just opening through that right hip, sinking down here. So make sure that that back knee, that left knee, is really far back here. So you've got that lovely diagonal line between the hip and the back knee. And then right hand comes down to the mat. Right knee meets left knee. Sink back into your child's pose for a moment here. Toes touch. Chest comes towards the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. Finding your breath. Finding that connection once again with your body, with your baby. And then begin to shift the weight forward once again. Pushing into your hands. Tucking the toes under, coming back into your downward facing dog. If you're able to, join me here. Take a breath. Bend your knees, shift your hips back and up. Rotate the upper arms forward and round to the side. So you're externally rotating the upper arms here. Left leg kicks up towards the sky, toe points down. Shift the left knee towards the front of the mat, finding its way between your hands, coming into your high lunge on the opposite side. So find your setup, make sure you've got a really strong grounding foundation here. Inhaling, pelvic floor lifts up and squeezes to give you that extra support, and then as you exhale, either with the support on your thigh or coming all the way up unaided, inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Tucking the tailbone under, bending that back knee a little bit just to find that foundation pose. And then sink down a little bit more and re-straighten that back knee. Exhaling, drawing the arms back and open through the chest. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, sinking down. Inhaling, lifting up. Coming once again into that little open twist here. And draw the palms to face up. And then placing the back foot down, sink down a little bit more, coming into your reverse warrior. Sweeping the left arm up overhead. Don't forget to maintain that bend in your front knee so that you're trying to draw the knee over the ankle of that front foot. Push into the outside edge of that back foot. Don't lose that foundation. And then exhaling, coming back out. So you're into your warrior two. Sinking down into your side angle pose, so left arm comes to rest on the left thigh. Sweeping the right arm overhead, looking towards that top arm. Breathing here, finding that opening rotation through the upper body. Looking towards that top arm. Avoid collapsing here on the knees, so try and create length and lift through the upper body. And then exhaling, right arm towards the hip. And start to walk that back foot in a couple of inches here. Now straighten that bottom leg, that left front leg, and allow the arm to rest down inside that front leg. So again, maybe having a block or a book here just to help you support and lift yourself up so that you're lengthening through the side of the body, and then releasing that top arm if your balance is okay here, looking up towards that top arm. Inhaling, exhaling, and then exhaling, bending that front knee once again, walking the hands to the floor. Drop that right knee, left leg foot walks to the side of the mat, and just come into a gentle rotation here with that left thigh opening up, pushing onto that left thigh, maybe reaching that back arm towards the back heel. And then exhaling, bringing that hand towards the floor. Left knee meets right knee. Knees come wide apart and just come and sink back into your child's pose. Breathing deeply here. Well done for completing this practice today. It was quite an energetic and strenuous one, so really make sure you take a good few minutes in Shavasana, either using the guided video or just taking your own Shavasana, either lying on your left side or with support in a 45-degree angle for your upper body. So I hope you have a lovely day and you've enjoyed this beautiful sunset practice. We've just made it before the sunset, and please don't forget to comment or like my video if you've enjoyed what you've had today, and subscribe. So have a lovely day or a lovely evening, and namaste.
If you've enjoyed this class and would like access to more free videos, then don't forget to go ahead and click subscribe.